Guys, that's your Shadow Legends with another champion guide, sending some love and positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there today. Ooh, I'm excited for this one, guys. This is Khafru the Deathkeeper. This is a champion that actually really impressed me. I did not have super high expectations, but I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. In-game, he has really crappy reviews. He was part of a previous fusion. Even on websites out there on tier lists, everybody really ranks him, average to below average. I actually think he's above average, personally, after testing him. He really surprised me, so I'm excited for today's guide. But first, some shout outs to you guys. We get Mike, Fat White Guy, 3125. Any plans to do a Khafru guide? You're looking at it. We get Rob coming in, or Rob in Meg, maybe, for a Khafru guide. We got Christopher looking for a Khafru guide, and a bunch of others. So shout out to everybody who keeps the champion guide requests coming in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get to it, guys. All right, guys, so Khafru is a deer undead horde. He's actually, if you look at the lore, he's a minion of Nekret the Great, so summoned and kind of the servant, and you can absolutely tell that, especially after you see the aesthetic. So this is Nekret, right? He's kind of the lord of the Nekret, or in this lore scenario, right? And then we have Khafru, who, again, he really has that same vibe. I especially really love the shield design here, like super cool. They really have it almost feels like Nekret and Khafru could be their own faction, right? They're sort of I don't know, kind of a medieval, ancient kind of Egyptian pharaoh type motif, but they're all undead too. It's really cool. I like everything about them. So yeah, I mean, he looks awesome. He really looks cool for an epic champion, right? And you can see he's got like the swords or the daggers coming out of his back as well. Really cool design on this guy. He even has a sword literally going through his head, right? So he is like impaled all over the place. All right, so the reviews in game, like I said, they're not very high on this dude. What does he do? First of all, base stats are pretty good, average. His defense, which is most important, being a defense-based epic champion, is 1332, solid. On his A1, Bone Gladius attacks one enemy, has a 70% chance of transferring a random debuff from this champion to the target. Pretty solid. On his A2, Khafru's Command, a 3-turn cooldown. When booked, 2 cooldown books go, or 2 books go right to the cooldown. So it's fantastic. It's an AoE attack. Before attacking, it's going to remove a random debuff from all allies. So you get a little cleanse there on the AoE attack. Awesome. Damage increases by 5% for each debuff removed. So you get a damage boost, and this happens obviously before the attack, for every debuff cleanse off of allies. This can be especially useful in areas like Hydra Clan Boss. Also heals each ally by 10% of this champion's max HP if a debuff was removed from them. This is another like really sneaky cool part of his kit. So we're cleansing, we're doing damage, we have damage escalation, and let me tell you, the damage is really good on this guy. And also we're healing allies by 10% of his max HP, which is really solid if we are removing debuffs. On his A3, Goad the Living, it's a 4-turn cooldown. It's an unkillable for 1 turn and a taunt for 2 turns. So now he's a 2-turn taunter as well. Obviously, you can use taunt strategies in Hydra Clan Boss to prevent your, other champions from being consumed. So there's some utility there. And taunt overall, while being, still kind of a niche ability, it still can have its utility. Phantom Shogun Grove as well. On his passive, decreases the damage all allies receive by 10%. This champion will receive that damage instead. So that's Nekret's Guardian. Literally, it says it in his, forget the lore, it's right there in the passive. Although, as I said, there is some pretty robust lore and backstory of this champion. So, man, you put it all together, and he really does, to me, seem to have a kit that is worthy of being a void rarity epic champion in the game. He's doing a lot. You add in the damage, which is really solid on this AoE. I really like the champion. Is he the best epic in the game? No, but he can certainly help anybody in Hydra, in Phantom Shogun, in wave content, in Centranos, and in Faction Wars, right? Quickly, I want to go to the best website in the biz, hellhades.com, and I want to give you their take on this champion. Before we go ahead and take a look at the build, I built him for damage in today's video because I want to show you guys what this guy can do. As I said earlier, man, I was really impressed. I was trying to show you the rating, but for whatever reason, it's not loading right now. But they rate him a 3.5 out of 5. I think that's pretty fair. You know, I might go 4, but maybe it's a battle or a game of expectations, right? I really expected a 3-ish, and he really surpassed that. So, Khafru the Deathkeeper overview. Nekret the Great has called on his minions, so rising from Shadow Realm are the Deathkeepers. The leader of this horde is Khafru, a noble guardian of Nekret, and together they protect the undead, the underworld, Khafru the Deathkeeper is an epic defense champion from the Undead Horde faction. So, what do they have to say about him? They say he has a great set of abilities to tackle some of Raid's toughest encounters, and stands as the latest epic champion that places taunt buffs. His A2 is a strong cleanse ability to counter the true fears from the Head of Torment. We mentioned that again. True fear, cleansing, fantastic, right? Always looking for, if you're not going to have a passive cleanser or a real viable, robust strategy for Head of Torment, I always look for multiple cleansers on my team, just try to mitigate those true fears as they happen, or champions like Mikage who can reduce the duration of all of our buffs. I guess that's a cleanse technically anyway, right? So the Head of Torment, non-resistible, therefore it will be perfect. Whoa. Sorry about that, I'm back. Therefore, this will be perfect for taunt teams to alleviate the chance of ruining your cycle, basically being ruined cycle because of the Head of Torment, because you don't have a cleanse because of those fears, right? Outside of Hydra utility, you can use him universally for not only the cleanse, but to heal your champions by 10% in areas such as faction wars. Leading to his unique passive, Khafru can decrease damage your allies receive by 10% and will receive that damage instead. It's always important for champions that deflect damage to themselves to have some form of self-protection, which is where the unkillable buff can help him from dying from the fatal hits. That being said, you don't want to rely on only a 1-turn unkillable on a 4-turn cooldown to keep this dude alive. You need to have healers around him, of course. Although taunt plays a niche role in Raid, is extremely powerful in areas such as the Hydra, the Phantom Shogun Grow, and Amos, which is a good add-on as well. A popular strategy for Hydra is a permanent taunt team. I've never ran a permanent taunt team. I don't have EMIC on my account. I know a lot of you guys are asking for an EMIC guide. Hopefully someday I'll get him, but I don't have him, so I apologize for those of you who keep hammering him away for the EMIC guide. The cycle for this strategy is created around champions that can reset your taunt champion to keep it active, which, although options such as EMIC are the most powerful you may want to consider him as a double taunt solution. In areas like Shoguns, you can direct the boss single target abilities to himself, therefore using unkillable makes him a strong candidate for this role. So kind of a phantom tank in that regard with the unkillable and the taunt. Just be careful, again, the unkillable you mentioned is only a 1-turn. Area rankings, they're going to give him a 4.5 out of 5 in Shogun. They're going to give him a 5 out of 5 in Spider. Spider Hard, a 4 out of 5. Hydra, a 4.5 out of 5. Amos, a 4 out of 5. Clan Boss, a 4 out of 5 as well. So I think they're actually being very, generous in some of these rankings as well. I like him in even areas like Ice Golem, right? Ice Golem Hard, you can use him Ice Golem Hard all the way to stage 10 because he can really take a hit. And again, he can also mitigate the rest of your allies' damage and cleanse off all of those debuffs from the boss's minions, I should say. Multipliers. He has a 3.9 multiplier on his A1. Really solid multipliers on that A1. On the A2, he has a 4.1. This is very, very hard hitting. Now, granted, his base defense is 1350-ish, whereas opposed to like a Valkyrie, she's almost at 1600. So there is a lot to be said for the scaling of those stats. That being said, a champion like a Valkyrie with her A2 has a 3.5 multiplier, right? So this is a really big, solid multiplier. I can't think of any epic defense-based champion in the game that has a higher AoE multiplier than this on this A3, or the A2, on Khafru's command. That's notable. Even better than Hoskarul, even better than a Grush the Mangler, for example. So you can absolutely expect him to be an amazing defensive powerhouse and also an offensive powerhouse, right? He's kind of doing a lot, which I love champions like this. Okay, let's go ahead and go back into the game. I'll show you how I have him built. I think I just built him for damage, right? All right, guys, so here is the build. We have lethal and crit damage on this dude. As I said, I built him to be a nuker, but there's so many different ways that you can build him. Let me rattle off a few. Regen, immortal, right? More survivability. He's taking a lot of damage. Damage out of this champion is nice, as we said, but it's also a luxury. It's not a must-have. However, just understand if you don't build him for damage, you are leaving a lot of it off the table from your team. He's a really good secondary damage dealer for your squad, so take that into consideration. But first and foremost, we need to keep him alive. He has the taunt, and he also has the damage mitigation on the passive. Now, you can kind of parlay and get extra value out of the damage mitigation if you want to go with Guardian gear. If you do that, if you go that route, you definitely want to build him really tanky. You might have to sacrifice some big damage from this champion, right? You can also, he needs HP to survive, obviously, but it also scales his heal off of his HP. So you can build him with a lot more HP than we have today as well. And you could take advantage of that extra heal and maybe put him in a bolster set. That way you can get those heals off the bolster or a regen set or immortal sets, okay? So those are some ways that you can build him. He's such a versatile champion that the builds for him are also very versatile, just depending on how you want to build them for your account. If you're just focused on clearing content for the very first time with him, just go with survivability, right? Try to get to 100% crit rate if you can. You'll still be impressed by the damage this champion puts out. And I should mention, I am so lucky on this guy. I pulled a bunch of dupes, and then I pulled a 6-star soul for him, and then I knew I had to build him, right? So I have him +4. I'd like the super strong Khafru, so the results that you have with your Khafru, I have to say, may not be the same of what you see here in this build. I don't have him in my best gear, but I have him in pretty solid. Obviously, it's an endgame build. With all that said, I have defense on the banner. Accuracy on this champion is nice for the A1, but that's all you need it for, just the A1. So if you're not really, focused on needing to transfer those debuffs off the A1, you can punt a little bit of accuracy. However, it is really nice to have on that A1, but make your own decision. I have defense on the banner, I have crit damage on the amulet, and then I have defense on the ring. I have I have defense percentage on the boots, I have defense percentage on the chest, and I have crit damage on the gauntlets. On the boots, for most players out there, you're probably going to want to go speed. Even on the defense percentage on the boots here, we have them, I wouldn't say slow, but slow for the end game, right? On nukers in the end game, is at least when we talk about, arena content, PvP content, I'm talking end game, you really want 250 speed as kind of a minimum, right? Now for PvE, you can get by with basically, a lot less. So 204 is just fine for the content that we're going to be using him on. 56k in the HP, 6200 on the defense, 204, 110 crit rate, 273 crit damage with 224 on the accuracy. We have defense percentage on the chest. I might as well glyph that out, right? It's really not that good of a chest. I'll just keep it as is. It's already 2-star. I will get a little bit extra HP out of these gauntlets, though. As I mentioned, I did build them for damage, so we did go crit damage on the gauntlets there. I'm just looking for some speed, if I could find it, right? So a double roll there. We don't have everything glyphed out. Let's just go to level 16. We have a little bit of silver. In like one day I'll be silver broke again. I have a little extra accuracy. We'll take it. We'll also go 2 ascensions to see what we get. Defense, absolutely. It might not seem like much, these flat stat, ascensions, but it really does matter when you're trying to min-max your champion, right? So there's definitely a lot of room to go here when we talk about glyphs, as it pertains to an end game build. But hey, we're already able to get that defense inching up towards 6,300. Do I have any defense rolls that I didn't do? No, but I do have a flat stat. I'll take it if I have it. Yeah, I do. So let's pick up another 25, right? It all adds up. We glyph everything out. We ascend everything. We could probably get this to 6,500, which is significant, right? For an epic champion, no less. Masteries. We came down. We picked up War Master. Very typical kind of bland mastery build here. Nothing crazy. We went down, picked up Selfless Defender. Because again, I kind of want to double down on that damage mitigation on that passive. If you don't want damage out of this guy, or you're just focused on clearing content for the first time, he might be a good option for Bulwark as well. So you could go super tank build, you could go Selfless Defender, and then you can go Bulwark, right? So I like Shadow Heal on this champion. I don't mind Rejuvenation on this champion. Again, we're looking for other mechanisms to keep this guy alive is the most important thing, right? So those are my masteries. Let's see quickly what hellhades.com recommends. They recommend Cruelty as a blessing, and they recommend something close to what we have here. Coming down the left-hand side, they did pick up Life Drinker. I hope I had Life Drinker. He really needs, yes, I do. Life Drinker is very important because he deals a lot of damage, so getting heals based on damage of, inflicting when attacking with 50% HP or less is going to be super important, again, for survivability on this champion. Keep in mind with that unkillable, sometimes he might be sitting there at 1 HP, right? So Life Drinker, Rejuvenation, or Shadow Heal, these are going to be very useful masteries on this champion. And again, you can check out hellhades.com if you want to see their full guide. I went with Crushing Rend because he's 6-star awakened, right? So really, really love it. Ignore some more defense. Heck yeah, we can add that on to the lethal. Okay, if I didn't, I think Cruelty is fine. He could also be your commanding presence if I didn't have him at 6 stars. He could be a commanding presence if you don't have an aura strengthener already on your team. So those are some options for you guys. Obviously, being a defense-based damage dealer, he will do a lot more damage when you have an increased defense champion alongside of him on the team, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, guys, so I am actually high in platinum right now, or at least I was. Okay, I'm at 90 right now, so not super high, but needless to say, I'm recording this on a Sunday morning, so it's the last day of the season too, so I can't really do a lot of arena spotlights up here. Actually, I probably could do a couple battles here. I want to see if I can win the speed race. Don't hold this team against me, guys. This is just a DPS check. I just want to give my big speed champions a chance so we can go first, test out his damage. As I said before, I'm going to add Sify to this team because I want to make sure that we have the increased defense. And a turn meter boost will be helpful given how slow he is. So let's just see what kind of damage he can do here. So I'm going to go in, CC the enemy team, get that increased defense. I'm going to back-to-back turn meter boost here with Lazarius and with Sify. So now he has increased defense. We're going to try out that A2. Obviously, he's going up against a Rhonda with that pesky little stone skin, but hopefully we can clear out everybody else. So here's his A2 ability. I'm going to slow it down so you can watch the animation as well. Boom! Not bad. Not bad. 55K. Enough to take out almost everybody. We did not take out Arbiter, which is kind of lame, but it is what it is. Let's go in. Oh, I should have just reset abilities there so we could see him a little bit more. Let's just go against that next team here. Let's go against the next team. So what do you guys think of that damage? I think it was really good, but, you know, not like going to be your insane uber nuker, right? Certainly a lot of attack-based nukers are going to do a little bit better, but let's give them another shot here, right? Another shot. These teams that we're going up against here are going to be like good gear, being this high in the arena. So here he goes again. Here's his A2, and boom. 70K, 60K. Now, unfortunately, we're going against Siegfried, so he's going to revive everybody, but that was a lot better, you know? And again, this is not, just to be very clear, not an arena champion per se, not someone that I've ever seen in the arena, but I think you could actually get some utility. Call me crazy. I mean, you can get some utility out of him, right? He's kind of annoying to deal with. Let's try one more team in the arena. Let's try this squad right here, right? One more team. I want to give him one more shot to nuke. The nice thing is against a Taurus and Marichka team or something like this, right? And this could apply to wave content as well. It doesn't just have to be the arena. He can actually take a punch because he's so tanky, right? Meaning that he can deal with Taurus's counterattacks, and even if he's low on HP, you have the unkillable as well. So let's come in here and try to remove our biases, or we can get sheeped. That works too. All right. Okay, let's get that revive there, and we're going to have taunt, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to taunt as well on the A3, because he's under the fear from Taurus right now, and I don't want a chance losing that A2 like we just did. I guess I could have reset it, but either way, it's going to work out for us here. So let's go in, and let's just do a turn meter. No, let's reset. Let's reset. All right, we could use Sify's refresh here, given our few deaths that we've had. I'm going to go ahead and not worry about the revive right away. I'm going to buff with the A2. Hopefully, Khafru can stay alive. We're going to go ahead and get a turn meter boost, and she'll likely die here, but we can revive her with... there she goes. Okay, we can revive her with Lazarius. All right, and he'll be sheeped immediately. They get healed up. Here we go. Finally get to go in with the A2, and yeah... Okay, so maybe we bit off a little bit more than we can chew there. You can't blame me for not trying the tough teams. All right, I'm just going to back out of this one. Suffice it to say, you could use him on a go second team. You could even put him in a bolster set, as I mentioned earlier, and use him as an unorthodox arena option for progression, especially if you're starting to lose a lot of speed battles. You can put him in Stone Skin, give him a proper arena build, and go from there. So this team, guys, I have Artak UDK, I have Deacon Armstrong, I have Miscreated Monster, and I have Khafru. I wanted to do a quick, this is Ice Golem Hard 10. All right, guys, so here we go. I love this guy. Endgame, he's very, very good. He's very tanky, right? I'm not going to show you a Hydra run because I've already used my keys, but as we mentioned quite a bit, he's very good in Hydra, right? Really solid. Did you see his AoE damage, guys? I missed it, but man, if you were kind of a mixed bag, that I would say that we got in terms of damage during the arena, man, he can definitely dish it out outside of the arena. His A1 hits very, very hard as well. His A1, 86K. He was hitting the Ice Golem for over 100K. Excuse me, per pop with his A1 the last time that I did this run with him. I actually highlighted Miscreated Monster on my other channel using the same team, so if this team looks familiar, that's why. But really solid here. Did you see his nuke again? Big, big, big boy damage from Khafru. There's his A1, 106K. Super, super good, man. I love that damage with the cleanse. The cleanse is going to come in handy along with the passive against the Ice Golem. Reason I'm showing you Ice Golem Hard 10 is because it's one of the hardest hitting bosses out there, especially if we can't kill his minions, which hopefully we can. I'm going to take it off auto here. I like to shut off the A3 of Miscreated Monster. Oh, look at this. Decrease accuracy. Nice and easy. Cleansed away with the A2, right? I like to take off the A3 of Miscreated Monster, the ally protection, when we get to the Ice Golem, because sometimes he can die. The whole team won't wipe because Artak technically could probably solo this, but let's just go in. Let's try to land a leech here. Nice. All right, let's just keep chipping away at these minions because having that 100% or even 50% ignored defense can be a pain. I will go with the A3 there just to have that taunt up with the unkillable, just in case we need it. And here comes a hit. Took some damage, no doubt. UDK. I have UDK built for damage, by the way. Let's go into the A2 again. Things are going pretty smooth so far, but we could really go for killing one of these minions here, right? Don't want to take that big, big ignored defense hit from the from Clysis. Clysis? Whatever you say his name is. All right. Go in there. Here comes okay. Everything's looking good so far. I love Miscreated Monster, guys. So good. Getting that. Here we go in. Get another cleanse. The big hit coming in. A lot of ignored defense, but we're able to stay alive. That was pretty clutch. That was pretty clutch. Now we can actually hopefully kill one of these minions if we can get to it. Come on. All right. You look at UDK's health. He's just clinging on. At least we take out one of these guards. Let's take out the other one, please. All right, UDK, finish him. All right. Let's go in there with the burn. Ooh, look at that. Oh, Khafru goes down. No. It's okay, though. He got his job done. I'm really curious to see the damage this team's able to put out, especially since he's going to be missing out on a little bit of it here. Obviously, Artak's going to finish the deal here, so I'm going to come back at the end, and we're going to see how we did. All right, so again, guys, 2.7 million damage. Not bad at all from a defense-based support with only one AoE in his kit, right? Can trash this, can trash that. Let me show you him in one more area. All right, guys, Phantom Shogun Grove, stage 25, okay? I have Yumeko on the team mainly to be my enfeeble tank with the highest crit damage on the squad. Let's go in here and get a cleanse, and then let's start newting up here. So there's Newt, there's Ninja. Khafru could be a little bit faster, I would say, because I really want to reset the ability. But yeah, I will anyway. I will anyway, Dance of Time. Sorry, I'm covering up the man, the myth, the legend here. We're going to go right in with that A3. Put that taunt and unkillable. Now he's my tank, right? So that's pretty much it. It's pretty much game over. And this is how valuable, I need to tell you guys, how valuable having taunt on your team against Phantom Shogun really can be. It's really, I mean, There's nothing like it. And now we go from a very concerning, difficult battle to everything's under control. And you can see that was his AoE doing some nice damage there. I'm just going to go in with Newt's A1 ability, and that's basically it. So this guy is really creme de la creme when we talk about the Phantom Shogun, especially if you have him awakened, right? Can be a very, very nice tank for this boss. Really help alleviate just getting around, you know, this is what taunt is so effective, is why taunt is so effective against Phantom Shogun. So he can be a really, really capable tank. Even on this team, I don't think we really didn't need Yumeko. Any reset would have done, because as soon as we put that taunt on, we could have built him a little bit faster. We would have been able to use him as our main Phantom Shogun tank. So super, super solid champion with that, especially in the future, if they add more bosses to the game that they can utilize taunt, or that taunt works against them as a necessary mechanic, he'll become even more valuable. So I don't have any Hydra keys left right now, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would show you him on a Hydra team, but suffice it to say, getting that cleanse and the damage from that A2 ability is extremely useful, not to mention the taunt that he can bring to save the rest of the team from being decapitated, or eaten, I should say. Guys, there it is. That's going to do it for, why did I say decapitated? They're going to be devoured. We're going to be decapitating. Guys, keep the champion guide requests coming in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.